There is a quiet kind of strength in saying no. It doesn't shout, it doesn't argue, it simply stands. We live in a world saturated with invitation, an endless current of requests, opinions, expectations, all pulling us toward agreement. And so we nod, we smile. We say yes to jobs we don't want, to conversations that drain us, to obligations that weigh heavy on the soul. But the Stoics ask, why do we agree to things that steal our peace? Why do we not protect the limited time we are given? They knew something we try so hard to ignore. Saying yes to everything is not kindness. It's cowardice in disguise. We fear confrontation. We fear rejection. We fear appearing selfish or uncooperative. And so we agree. Not because we believe, not because we care, but because we are afraid of what will happen if we don't. But in saying yes to the world, again and again, we say no to our inner life, no to our boundaries, no to our peace, no to our principles. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The approval of 10,000 men is worth less than your own integrity." You don't owe your energy to every request that finds you. Not every door must be opened. Not every voice must be answered. Not every call must be returned. To live without this wisdom is to be chained to the moods of others. It is to be enslaved by the shallow currents of popularity and politeness. But to live like a Stoic is to root your actions in your values, not in the noise of other people's expectations. The Stoic says no with dignity, not defiance. Quietly, firmly, without apology. Because a life of purpose requires the courage to disappoint. Let us go deeper. Saying no is not rejection. It is redirection. It is the steering wheel of a mindful life. It says, I am not here to be everything to everyone. I am here to be honest, to be focused, to be present where it matters most. And that requires a line drawn in silence, with grace, but unbreakable. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are pathways to protect what is sacred within. When you say no to chaos, you say yes to clarity. When you say no to excess, you say yes to meaning. This is not about arrogance. It's not about pride. It is about discipline. It is about knowing where your time goes, where your energy flows, where your soul breathes. The world will not understand. Some will take offense. Some will call you distant, selfish, cold. Let them. Let your no be misunderstood. It is not your job to be constantly accessible. It is not your duty to explain every refusal. The Stoic walks a narrower path, not to punish others, but to stay free. And freedom, as the Stoics knew, is not doing what you want. It's not pleasing everyone. It is choosing what truly matters and having the strength to say no to what does not. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. You don't need the perfect excuse. You don't need elaborate justifications. Your no can be calm. Your no can be kind. And still, it can be final. Respect begins where fear ends, and that includes self-respect. We often think of no as a rejection of others, but in truth, it is an affirmation of yourself. Every time you say no to what drains you, you say yes to what sustains you. The Stoics believed that virtue isn't found in the approval of others, but in alignment with your own nature. And nature does not chase. It does not overextend. It does not pretend to be something it is not. Self-respect is not loud. It's not prideful or defensive. It is simply the refusal to betray your values to please the world. There's a quiet dignity and restraint in walking away from drama, in not engaging with every argument, in preserving your energy, not wasting it on battles that don't matter. You're not a machine built to respond. You are a conscious being, capable of choosing what you absorb, what you entertain, what you accept. Saying no isn't cruelty, it's clarity. You do not need to over-explain it. You do not need to decorate it with excuses. You simply need to remember, if you want to be respected by others, the great thing is to respect yourself. Pythagoras. That begins with choice, and choice begins with the courage to say no. Saying no to the world is saying yes to your soul. A Stoic life is a filtered life, not because it is cold, but because it is disciplined. You do not need every opinion. You do not need to attend every event. You do not need to respond to every message, comment, question, or complaint. You are not a servant to the chaos around you. You are a guardian of your own clarity. And so you say, no, I won't argue. No, I won't chase. No, I won't abandon my stillness just to appear agreeable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you always own the option of having no opinion. There is never a need to get worked up or to trouble your soul. That's the power of restraint. That's the power of boundaries. Because not everything deserves your reaction. Not everything deserves your explanation. And not everything deserves your presence. Saying no creates space. When you begin to say no, you'll notice something strange. Space opens, mental space, creative space, emotional space. Suddenly you're not overwhelmed, you're not trapped, you're not constantly pulled into things you didn't choose. You begin to breathe again. Because life is not just about addition, it's about subtraction. And peace is not something you earn through achievement. It's something you protect through discernment. Don't waste what's left of your life in guessing what others think. Marcus Aurelius. When you stop trying to please everyone, you begin to hear yourself again. When you say no to fitting in, you say yes to standing still. And in that stillness, you will remember, you don't need to be everything. You just need to be true. This is what self-respect looks like. Not loud, not angry, not resistant, just firm, quiet, rooted. You don't need to punish. You don't need to defend. Your peace will speak for itself. Your clarity will carry its own weight. And your no, delivered gently, confidently, will become a boundary the world learns to respect. Freedom is the space between stimulus and response, and the strength to choose differently. We chase control like a shadow. We try to manage how others see us. We micromanage outcomes. We grip so tightly, hoping life won't surprise us. But the more we try to control, the more we suffer. The Stoics understood this clearly. Trying to control the external world is a trap. What you truly own is your reaction. When you learn to say no to control, you reclaim your peace. Saying no to control means no, I won't obsess over what others think. No, I won't bend myself to every demand. No, I won't chase people to keep them close. No, I won't sacrifice my time just to avoid discomfort. You're not cold, you're clear, you're not detached, you're disciplined. When you release the illusion of control, you gain something greater, inner freedom. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus. Most people spend their energy reacting. They check every notification, respond to every tone, internalize every mood. But the Stoic watches, observes, reflects, and then responds, not out of fear or panic, but from stillness. This is true freedom. Not doing whatever you want, but doing only what matters. When you say no to distractions, you say yes to depth. When you say no to superficial connection, you say yes to intimacy with yourself. When you say no to external chaos, you say yes to inner structure. And it's within that structure that purpose grows. To let go of control is not to become passive. It is to choose wisely what is yours to carry and what is not. Some things are yours: your thoughts, your principles, your habits, your effort. Everything else, not yours. Let it go. Let them judge. Let them misunderstand. Let life unfold without your grip, and simply say, no, this is not mine. You don't need to control the outcome. You just need to remain aligned with your values. You don't need to predict what will happen. You just need to walk with courage through what does. That is Stoicism, not the suppression of emotion, but the mastery of direction. Not denial, but devotion to truth over ego. Saying no to control is a rebellion against fear. Fear tells you to cling. Fear tells you to fix. Fear tells you to shape everything around you. But wisdom whispers, let go. Say no to the urge to correct everyone. Say no to the pull to please. Say no to the spiral of assumptions and what-ifs. Say yes to calm. Say yes to depth. Say yes to stillness. That is freedom. You can live without over-explaining. You can live without reacting. You can live without being understood by everyone, and when you do, you will discover this truth. The Stoic is most free when he has the least need to prove it, because in the end, your deepest yes is born in your calmest no. If this reflection spoke to something quiet inside you, if it helped you pause, breathe, or realign, then I invite you to stay on this journey, subscribe to the channel, and let these meditations meet you again, wherever your path leads next.